My name is Distero Sabuya, 21 years old, a second year student from BC Mathematics. And now, I am going to answer those two following questions given from course Ethics. First question, are you an ethical person? So first of all, ethics isn't something you can keep up indefinitely. Ethics can be maintained throughout one's life with practice and attention. Ethics may be threatened if habit and mindfulness degrade. I don't think of myself as especially pure or perfect. I'll be ethical in certain situations and unethical in others. I believe myself to be a partially ethical person in this aspect. I make an effort to develop a consistent and rational ethical framework, as well as to be aware of the ethical implications of my judgments. When you're faced with a real and serious ethical dilemma, you will always make the wrong choice. The easy choice, the most expedient choice, the lazy choice when faced with a real and serious ethical conflict. It is critical to your success that you have a good character. It is what you do and who you are when no one can see you. And it takes a lifetime effort, a character that cannot be summoned in the fly of the moment. It is impossible to be occasionally honest. Either you're telling the truth or you're not. The ability to keep a consistent personality across time is referred to as integrity. The most coveted traits in the world are character and honesty. Without them, society would be doomed. I don't always act in accordance with my values. This reminds me of the ethical implications. It is likely that if I thought of myself as an ethical person, I wouldn't pay attention to the ethical consequences of my activities. And when people don't pay attention to the ethical consequences of their actions, things get out of hand. I believe that persuading people who regard themselves to be ethical to commit horrific atrocities is incredibly simple. You should quit regulating yourself if you believe you are ethical. There are also times when I am in conflict and need to resolve it in order for the situation to be successful. When I make a mistake, I instantly admit it and then change my mind. I have no qualms about changing my mind. It makes me a better person when someone shows me incorrect. I appreciate sharing knowledge. I go out of my way to help strangers for no other reason than to help them, especially those who are in need. I am always looking for ways to improve people's lives. In my interactions with others, I strive to be respectful and fair. I make it a point to figure out where I fall short of that ideal and seek to improve. I am a skeptic who is continually looking for ways to see beyond the surface of the data in front of me. When I come across a situation that contradicts my principles, I take a deep breath and attempt to make modest modification until I reach an ethical point where I feel at ease. We don't have to think about whether we're acting appropriate in a given situation. In my opinion, the greatest strategy is to consider whether or not it makes sense. That is the best we can do in each case. There is no such thing as the ideal solution, but if you can make sense, most of the time, things will go well, because making sense entails more than judging what is true or incorrect. Question. Is there a fixed morality? Well, first of all, morality defines the contrast between good and bad. It is the line between what needs to be done and what can wait. Morals are concerned with both actions and intentions. The term ethics does not cover all recommended actions. This is what you should do, and this is what you should not do, are common phrases. There is no reason to believe that morality is based on anything real. Traveling around the world reveals us we live in a world where many different moralities exist. So we can, however, subjectively embrace a moral foundation and make objective progress based on that assumption. Well-being is a fantastic place to begin. You can ask yourself how to increase the well-being of everyone, including yourself, and you can make decisions based on data. Observe actions and science. Each person is responsible for establishing his or her own morality standard. However, your moral compass is influenced by a multitude of factors. Parents, siblings, neighbors, childhood, friends, teachers, and others are among the individuals you interact with. Society bears the brunt of the responsibility for developing a broad code of morality. It is impossible to overestimate the value of media, whether print or digital. Any book you read has an impact on your moral perception, whether it is religious literature or children's fiction. If you think about it, there are probably a lot more things that could be added to this. They are all just tools to help you think. However, you are totally responsible for your conclusions. As a result, any moral standards you develop are totally your own. The role of one's spiritual conscience defines morality. Circumstances change, but the role of always acting in accordance with our true conscience does not. Most morals are not set in stone. They usually shift and alter with time. Opinions on whether specific actions, including as premarital sex, same-sex, partners, hips, and cannabis use, are moral have shifted over time, while the majority of the population historically regarded these actions bad. The vast majority today considers them appropriate. Contraception is deemed immoral in some locations, cultures, and religions. Some people in other parts of the world believe that contraception is moral since it prevents unintended pregnancies, manages the population, and lowers the danger of STDs. Morality isn't a hard and fast rule. It's a nebulous phrase impacted by societal norms, educational limits, and upbringing, by example and religious belief. It is passed down through the generations. There are no hard and fast rules. Only what you believe to be correct and incorrect, reasonable and fair in your own view. Morality is subjective, but it's also objective. In other words, don't steal from others because you don't want them to steal from you. Treat people with the same respect and consideration that you would expect. That's it. Because morality isn't a hard and fast rule. What is considered acceptable in one culture may not be in other. Geographical settings, religion, family, and life events all have an impact on morals.